Okay, for this test, I just primarily wanted to see how this character looked in the scenes that was created for him. So Ryan from Cartoon Solutions actually created all of the pirate scenes, and my characters, which was Paula and Captain Pearl, are the characters that's going to be used inside the scene. So I wanted to make sure that my character looks well with his scenes, as well as they complement each other, meaning a similar style versus something that didn't match up too well. So looking at Captain Pearl in this particular scene, um, the reason why we went with this color scheme is because most pirates are in a lot of brown type colors, and a lot of the ship's design was made with various colors of brown, and we wanted to make sure it wasn't too much brown. We wanted to make sure he popped up as well as Paula showed well in all of the scenes. So here's, Captain Pearl, and um, of course, I like to do close ups because I think whenever you're doing a scene, at some point in time, you want to see how your character looks close up, whether you're doing zooming in for an facial expression or whatever the case may be. And I think he looks good zoomed in. And I think the scene was extremely well done. Ryan always does an excellent job of his scenes. Nice detail, nice shading, nice everything. And I am going to pop in Paula real quick. Wow, and she's much bigger than Dad. Let me shrink her down a little bit. And kind of not too far out in the ocean. Let's bring her a little bit closer, and there you go. And that way she can be the correct height. So both of these characters look great in this scene. Let me just see. Turn them kind of face to face. I think both of them have good side profiles for talking. We moved him a little bit closer. You can see how they can have a great dialogue with just both of them standing near each other. So what I want to do is just kind of see how they look in the various scenes that he has created for them. And so this is the scene for the docks. And if you zoom in, probably about right here, this would be a perfect spot to pop in the character and see how he looks. So let me just grab Mr. Pearl. Bring him up a little bit. And he's a little too big, so I can shrink him down some. But I think he will complement everything well. And you can definitely shrink and add him as needed. If I wanted to put him further at the top of the bridge. Oh, my computer is just not behaving well today. Say about right here. That would be a good spot. So once again, he goes well with the scene. Too far, too far. Zooming in looks great. Ryan's scene looks great. Again, great detail, great shading. So I will try another scene. Let's see how he looks on the captain's crow's nest. And this is supposed to be him looking from the top of the ship. And it has a day and a night scene, so you can bring the nighttime in. Let's bring in the character and see how he looks here. See if we can get him nice in position for this particular view. Okay, let's bring this front in some. There we go, so that his body is actually on the inside of it, and then, you know, he can be at all different angles. Let's see, this is on 5. Let's bring this down to 0. And then that way he can stand quite comfortably in here. And so I think you can do a lot of things with this scene. Especially if you wanted him to, you know, lean forward. See how he does glancing over. So I think overall it'll be nice for this night scene, whether it's a night scene or once again you make it a day scene. And I believe with the night scene, actually, you can add the moon and add a tent to really look like it's nighttime. So once again, I think everything came out great. And this character complements the scene really well. Hide the moon and hide the tent. So I will go to another scene, see how it looks. Ship deck, where you can do all types of stuff with it. This is probably a good angle. And then once again, bring in Captain Pearl. And I think you can easily have him kind of walk down, and I believe these doors open so he can walk down, and then you can have the scene cut to the captain's quarters where with the table and everything sitting there. So I think the biggest thing that I cannot avoid, and it's due to the design of the character, is that you're going to have to make sure that the lower torso is always in front of the thighs, so that if he was to walk, it makes sense. Because if not, it always cuts off this portion of his lower half. But overall, once again, the character looks nice at different angles. I believe you can put him back here. All right, so 6.5 would be the height. And so you can definitely have him behind the wheel to steer. And with the different props that came with different scenes, you can definitely add more cargo and stuff to really bring this scene out. So I think this one works well. And I believe we have one more scene, this one here, which will give good use to the side angle. So once again, I will pop him in. And since this is supposed to be able to see the ship from far away, I can shrink him and see how he looks from the side angle. And kind of get his Z so that he is behind the ship. And then let's just bring him down a little bit. And I mean, if you had his hand set to the proper setting, he would appear as if he's steering. So the cool thing is, once again, to have him do a nice close-up here is great. I think he looks great. The background looks great. You can actually have him be a little bigger. And now I see where I need to fix my lower half of my leg. That lets me know that with it being this big, that there's a line there instead of a fill. And I kind of hate fills with this particular application. It's just, it doesn't behave the way I would like it to behave. So I don't particularly care for it, but I can shrink it for this purpose of testing it. Probably about right here is fine. And the Z depth is not far enough, so let's get him behind, further down. And I think we can make him a little bit bigger. I am adjusting the wrong things here. I wanted him to go down and back a little bit. So I think it's nice that you can have a nice close up and then panned out, and he'd be so far away with the waves going. I think everything came out pretty nicely. Actually, this can go down just a tad. And once again, this has a, at least I thought it had a data icing. Maybe it's just the version I have, but you can easily make this a nice scene if it doesn't. And that should cover every scene that came with this application. So we got the captain quarters, the ship deck, the dock, the crow's nest, and the exterior view of the ship. And in all of them, they look great. And there was one more thing I wanted to check on the dock. Let me just zoom out. And I don't know where my character is hiding. There it goes. Bring them in and blow them up a little bit. But this particular scene has different things that you can hide and bring forth. So I can make this look like he's landing at a totally different dock and take away the wood by see if I can get the right one. Stone. Get rid of the wood pillars, the wood ground, and there's still some more missing. It's the night scene. Wood colors go bye-bye. Okay, maybe that's roughly it. So now it looks like he's docking at a different port that's filled with stone instead of the wooden planks. So this guy can travel around, change the background scenes to make it seem like he's going to different places. And once again, I think everything complements the character. And I think this client will have a ball animating this character in this environment. So that concludes this testing.